All right, welcome everybody. The 19th annual Twas the Night Before BNI. Twas the night before BNI, and all throughout the chapter. They said Bud was leaving us. We replied, he's not going anywhere until he leaves us for the hereafter. Round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you. Alexis told the group, don't cry. I can help. Let's have Nooch get Lowe's to the top spot on yellow. Nooch replied, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm still working on losing another 50 pounds of fat. Sherry inexplicably insisted that our walk-up song would be, The Bitch is Back. Randa's hobby of reading construction manuals finally paid off when she took on rebuilding Cave's A-frame. Frank's impersonation of Vecchio at the Halloween meeting was universally really considered lame. Eric was a little sad as he hadn't been back to magnificent Maple Heights in quite a while. Clark was late for the meeting again. Someone said they saw him at CVS browsing in the feminine hygiene aisle. Payback's a thing. That's one of my favorite lines of this one. Denise was celebrating with a $290 all-inclusive 14-day cruise to Europe because she was the only Denise left after Slamovitz booted herself from the chapter. Word on the street was that Hunter's comedy routine was nearly completely void of laughter. Matt was upset as he thought that his performance was dope. Only Alexis thought his career in stand-up had any hope. Robbie was excited to be the new president of the family insurance agency, Strachan Novak, but not as excited as when his wife gave him an early Christmas present. No, not a baby, but a new vac. Tibaldi finally gave up the mortgage business and became a pit boss at the Jack. His first job was to boot Cross out. Nothing worse than a degenerate gambler banker behaving like he's on crack. Cross was counting on paying for his kids' education with his winnings from playing craps. Jerry said he would do better working part-time for him, cleaning out soil stacks. Jerry insisted that everyone's toilet should have a beautiful blue seat light. Ryan said, throw in a shower steamer with that, and you will have yourself one hell of a night. Turns out that Ryan Howard is in fact related to Mo, Larry, and Shell. Bobby V was still pushing for everyone to buy his son's CBD hemp. Rosenblatt and Rosenthal decided to start a motorcycle club. They called themselves the Cockamamie Crusaders. Little Timmy Rosenstall lobbied to join the club. Of course he was rejected. The dude acts like he's a third grader. Gene now wanted to be known as Gene, with a J and an A. No longer a chauffeur, but now a chauffeuse. Mike said, you know, I'm all into drag racing, but that dude must have a screw loose. Peter finally came clean that LLC meant limited latex colors. Since he was fully booked every summer, Eric thought that Peter should do stand-up. He definitely would do a better job than Hunter. Second Hunter shot today. Angelo V officially changed his middle name to Vecchio. Angelo Sr. cried out, oh no, for he had brought shame upon the name of Carcio Polo. That hurts, Ange. Angelo Sr. was finally reminiscing about his own divorce and the move he got to make. And Joy had offered to print announcements, of course. They would make such a lovely keepsake. Daryl found the perfect inexpensive phone. Maybe you guys have this. 2 cans tied together with a string. His girlfriend, who's lived with him for the past 20 years in his home, was wondering when he was going to come up shooting with a wedding ring. 17 years ago, David Rush joined BNI. Everyone knows Coach D as being a really nice guy. 5 years ago, Frankie the Fixer joined BNI. Good thing is now he has people to tell him to zip up his fly. And Joy had it up to here with members not responding to her emails, exclaiming, "They're just so effing lazy." She would never say that, but I think she should say that. Steve perked up and declared, despite popular belief, he had not gone crazy. I'm not sure, Steve. Steve was proud of himself as he had not taken off his shirt in the meeting for at least the last 5 years. All the female members in the chapter, still suffering from PTSD, ran out of the room in tears. Katie, the crazy car lady, was still quite insane over her latest Toyota deal. Just the thought of Mihu being in 2 chapters for the price of 1 made Bob Willis freaking squeal. Way to go, Pete! Caveman was sick and tired of dealing with old people and happily returned for a meeting. Well, maybe next time. It's a good thing for Jeff, as Ray, a stickler for attendance. Come on, give it up. Good thing for Jeff, as Ray, a stickler for attendance, was heard threatening to give him a beating. Katie Hopkins was still pretending to be a woman with a lot of class, despite being part of a group that was most proficient in acting quite crass. The very sensitive Bob Graff disputed that the chapter was crass, while sitting on a refurbished copier, making high-resolution copies of his ads. Disgusting. Barrett was still trying to convince the group that he was related to Ulysses S. Grant, and that his family came over on the Mayflower. Angelo verified that, in fact, he moved Barrett's family from the UK to Cleveland in a truck with the logo of a ship operated by wind power. Hunter, breathed a sigh of relief when John finally got his commercial down to less than half an hour. Very good, John. Kim was convinced that the best time to buy a house was during the winter, especially when you don't need it. Dr. J said, "Come see me before surgery." What? I'm going to restart that. Kim was convinced that the best time to buy a house was during the winter, or when you don't need it. Dr. J said, "Come see me before you go to surgery." It doesn't rhyme. I don't know what happened. I'm not taking this one. Anyway, it had been 4 years since Dr. J had a new baby, and he was starting to get the itch. His wife contacted Bobby V on Sly and begged him to get her divorced from that horny son of a bitch. Kung Fu Panda, who's not here with us, Kung Fu Panda could not be happier. Being off the leadership team, Clark was obsessing over George's donuts, especially the ones filled with chocolate cream. Yes. DJ Jules' walk-up song was a shock to the entire crew. Who could have guessed it would be Johnny Cash's A Boy Named Sue? Really? It's the best she can do? Rob Peck did his best to support her by providing strobe lighting for her entrance. What else could he do? Dr. J said if Eric the Exterminator doesn't get his application fee in with a check that won't bounce, the membership committee will tell him to go screw. Sherry spent most evenings watching members in-home security cameras while sipping on some goose. Little Timmy Stowe was so devastated from being rejected by the menches on motorcycles that he actually gave up his beloved bourbon, the booze he had so often abused. So, with that, the sun was starting to rise, and to no one's surprise, Steve was seen at McDonald's, networking with the old guys. As the morning came to pass, and the meeting was about to start, Bud was telling the Angelos that the new owners of Lowe's better come with the big guns if they intend on getting rid of this old fart. For the Greater Cleveland chapter is more than about money. You're all special people, and many of you are incredibly funny, excluding Hunter. So count your blessings that you found this group. And whatever you do, don't give Jerry Gill any opening to talk about poop. May God continue to bless all of you and to bless the Greater Cleveland chapter of BNI. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry that I subjected you all to that.